Hello and welcome back to the Out of Spec Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah, and today we have another team, technically the winning team of the I-90 Surge, Team Acura. And if you didn't know, if you're not caught up today, Out of Surge took 10 vehicles, 9 EVs, 1 combustion car, the Acura, across the United States on Interstate 90 from Seattle all the way to Boston, more than 3,000 miles. And today we're going to talk about everything Acura. You know, you guys are not an EV, so the experience is a little different. So we're gonna have a little bit more fun here. But first, so let's start off. I'll go one by one. You guys introduce yourselves and kind of talk about your impressions for the trip when Kyle said, "Hey, I need you to drive a car 3,000 miles across the United States." I'll start off with you, Ben.
Okay. Yeah, so my name is Ben. I run the YouTube channel Gjeebs. Yeah, when he called me, I was excited about it, but he was vague. I thought at first we were going to be staying in hotels. I thought we were going to be dining every night. I came to find out we're going to be eating at gas stations in the middle of the night. I was going to be bullied in Montana. And yeah, so during the thing, it was miserable. But at the end of it, you're like, wow, that was really fun. So I thought I'm really happy I did it.
Unless you're on the first gen Model S.
Oh my God. That depressed me looking at where they were. That was terrible.
They actually had a lot of fun, they said. So then that they would even do it again in the Model S. So you'd be so.
That's delusion right there.
Yeah. Tijmen, what about you?
I work for Out of Spec. I thought it was fine. He called me. He's like, I really need you to drive the gas car. I was like, I'm not doing it in an EV. I've always been an anti-EV, and then I bought a Model 3. But he let me pick my crew to a certain extent, or said like who I kind of wanted, and he knew my personality pretty well because I basically live with him. So it was good for us. I mean, I think we had the most enjoyable car to be part of. So I would do it again, maybe in something like a 7 Series though. But
yeah. Nice. JR, yeah.
Hey, I'm John Ross from Watch Chair Go, and it was the same thing for all of us. I think Kyle just said, "Do you want to drive across the U.S.?" and didn't give us any other details, right? So we all just said yes because it sounded cool, and we jumped in the car. And like Tijmen said, we had a great team. We had a blast.
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, you guys were. Look, I was comfortable in the EQS, but a little jealous. You know, you guys were just blasting right through it. Before we kind of go into some of the numbers, do you guys think you would drive that fast pace if it was just like a regular road trip?
I'd drive faster.
Way faster. Really? Oh my God.
Yeah, no, the TLX can sit at an easy 110. Just not that we tested it during the surge.
Yeah, because we were 122.
They can easily sit at like 100 miles an hour plus for a long period of time.
I would probably drive about 10 miles per hour over the speed limit the whole time if it were me, honestly.
You guys think you'd have as many or even more stops? I mean, you guys were pretty like quick with it, kind of going through this chart here. Your stops, I mean, let's go all the way up. 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I mean, right. These are just gas station runs. Infrastructure is great.
Yeah.
Shot my pants.
I like the notes.
Yeah, this gave me a chuckle. Some of the notes here. Peak kilowatts observed, 69,420. Yeah.
I was told to just put in whatever, so.
The only thing I wish that, and maybe you guys did add this up. I wish we would have had the total cost it took us. Did we ever add that up?
I didn't.
I guess we could look at like credit card.
I didn't either. And obviously like it's different credit cards at every fuel stop kind of thing. But I figure like it's an average of $55.
$500.
Yeah.
It's $489, some average $44.
But that includes like food and stuff too. So I think.
Until right.
No, I think they're separate transactions. I don't think we added that.
Oh yeah, but no, that wasn't part of. This was only from what I filled out. Correct.
Yeah, so it probably is around $500. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great because it's not like the TLX is very fuel efficient, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to something
like
my
GX would have been like $4,000.
Yeah.
I mean, the i7 was, when you do the math,
600. Jesus.
Wow, the i7 was more, and that's
what was Taycan? Can you see that?
Yeah, let's go to Taycan over here.
because that's a real comparison right there. Or I guess Model
He's stopped
3.
so many times.
93, 1 of 7. Let's see.
That's super reasonable.
245. But I think they
That's
had a
sweet.
lot of
Oh, they had
free.
free charge, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
okay,
fine.
okay.
That's
But
about the same, probably.
right on. Awesome. Well, you guys made it 44 hours and 20 minutes. In fact, if you put this through Google on I-90, it's actually about the same, 44 hours. So you guys weren't really off then from what Google Maps has you guys going at. Did you guys expect to finish faster than that, slower than that? What was your kind of headspace in for how long this is going to take to complete?
I think it was faster. We probably all expected we'd be there just crazy fast. But then once we got into the grind of it, we kind of slowed down a little bit and took our time at some of the stops. And like we'd get gas and just end up in the gas station for 20 minutes sometimes in lines, waiting on food, things like that.
Right.
So maybe if we optimized, we could have crushed the competition, even the Taycan. But
Yeah, I think if we did it like true cannonball style, then we
yeah,
probably could have gotten to like 42 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I mean, it was brutal.
it
Like,
was.
and I
Yeah,
also
Ben's
just
bladder is so small, so
no, the big delay for me was getting that omelet in Wisconsin or wherever we at a grocery store. That was amazing. But I'm blown away by the Taycan team. I thought the Model 3 would get second. So the Taycan, I couldn't believe how close they were. Now there was no chance they were beating us, but we were talking about it the whole time. We were like,
Yeah,
hey,
we
we kind
were.
of got to move here.
Yeah.
I expected us to win by like 6 hours or something.
How? Yeah. When did you guys, what point did you guys realize that, hey, we got to kind of move on? The Taycan's catching up.
The first like 2 hours or something like that, right? Because we
well,
took like 3 bathroom breaks and
yeah, but
quickly
we also were
realized we were in the
like
back.
we were dead last after the second bathroom break where we did some shenanigans in the dirt. We realized we were all the way in the back by like a good 15 to 20 minutes. And then we're like, okay, we'll just like keep driving at our pace and we'll see tonight where we end up. And at that point, Taycan was only like 30 minutes behind us. And we were like, oh, we should actually pay attention a little bit more.
Right.
And that's when we started stretching a bit farther and only taking gas stops when we actually needed to take them if we really had to pee or if we actually needed gas. Other than that, we didn't stop after that first night for unnecessary reasons.
Okay.
And we ran it down a few times. And that's another thing to talk about. There'd be times I remember when I was driving, I got it down to like 30 miles of range left. And I'd start to kind of be like, oh shoot, like I don't know if there's a gas station, but there always is. There always is. And we
Absolutely.
don't have to think about if you're if the gas station's up or whatever, like it's there somewhere and it's 3 minutes. So that was very different.
It's probably another thing that made our trip really enjoyable is everyone else had like route planners figured out before and had to use
Yep.
the vehicle navigation. And we didn't do anything. We just jumped in the car and ran this thing. And
Listen
it
to
was
Young
fun.
Dolph.
That's right. Listen to Top the whole way.
100 shots as soon as we entered Chicago.
Chirac, baby.
Yeah, no, you guys were killing it. I mean, infrastructure for gas cars, it's absolutely everywhere. We're built on 120 years of gas infrastructure.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Poop juice.
Yeah. Now, what is your, I guess, road tripping opinion of the TLX? If you guys maybe think about this, if you had to pick another car to be in, what would it be?
I'll go first with this one. I'd say the TLX was not that comfortable as you might expect. It's like good for 2 hours. It needs massaging seats for about 60,000. But if I were to do it again, I would definitely choose something that is either super comfortable or as uncomfortable as the TLX over that period of time, but in a way different bracket of being like an M5 CS. It'd be way more enjoyable being uncomfortable in that than the TLX.
Some of the same
Yeah.
power.
And comfort, because the back seat is not comfortable in that either. So long wheelbase, like Tijmen was saying, massage seats would be great. If you have to drive across the country more than one time in your life straight through, it better be one comfortable car.
Yeah, I'd say like an Audi A6 or something would be nice.
A6L would be nice.
Yeah.
L. I don't think they L the 6, do they? A8L.
A8L, yeah.
Awesome.
I mean,
Okay.
ideally, we'd have like a Rolls Royce Cullinan or something, but that's a
Perfect.
little harder
Yeah.
to get.
If we do it again, we're shooting for the stars.
Yes, yeah, we're calling
I better
everyone.
have stars in the headliner too.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Trying to think of anything else like crazy. I mean, what was your rotation like? Like for, again, you're not an EV, so there are gas stations everywhere. No one is really like a planner, I imagine. You guys just said you got in the car and went off. But was there a rotation of who was driving? How did that work?
I think Ben slept the most out of everybody.
I think Simon drove the most too, because there were times where we're like, "You good?" He's like, "I'm not gonna quit." So,
Yeah. No, I think the second day I drove the most. The first day I was definitely in the back seat. JR and Ben definitely drove the most in the first 2 days. It was just who was tired and who was sleeping. If someone had just woken up and ready to take on the wheel from a nap, we'd throw them right into the seat at the gas station. But if they're still a little bit drowsy or just still asleep in the back seat, then we just leave them in and just swap who's ever up front if needed.
absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah, I guess when I was thinking about that, like I guess we could have just said we're going to switch at every gas station regardless of how you're feeling. Maybe that would have been better because then you wouldn't run into fatigue as much. I don't know. I guess we could have thought about it more, but again, we didn't have to strategize at all. We went to the bathroom 1,000 times, and
Yeah.
that's the part of it. That's the part of this whole video series that I don't think has been talked about is every team is 1,000 times more educated than the average consumer. So those guys in the Taycan, like I would bet if I drove that Taycan, they would beat me by a ton because I don't plan. I just go, here's my end destination.
Well, okay, Taycan, that's not something you really have to plan for. You really just look on the charger of the head to see if they're powerful enough.
Okay.
Like they basically used Electrify America 90% of the time. But let's say like Model 3, not i7 because that's didn't do well.
Yeah.
But
Did not.
every other EV in the top 5 really had to think through besides Taycan, I would say. I'm sure some strategy went into it as well, but that car is so easy to manage and charges so quickly and effortlessly that you just kind of look on a map to see how far you can make it, and you might stretch it a little farther or go a little bit closer.
Even Taycan team was actually telling me that they actually didn't use the route planner at all. David beforehand had written out a huge
did.
strategy. You'll notice this for a lot of the teams. Every team but Team EQS, I got to say the EQS route planner was great, but everyone had pretty much like strategized what chargers are great, even Team Tesla. And so that's just the point where infrastructure is. I mean, you're in a gas car, you just kind of get thing and go.
Yeah, super nice actually. Who would have guessed?
It works.
Yeah.
Well, we did have one super slow pump actually.
Yeah,
And
did
it
we?
took like 5 minutes, yeah.
That's horrible, dude. 5 minutes.
But I don't think those times are like super accurate that I put down
Mhm.
because I wasn't timing at all because we were in the gas car. And some of those are just the pump itself, not us getting food or anything.
True.
Perfect.
It
And what's
could
the
have said 3
range?
minutes and we were there for 30.
Yeah, I see a lot of. I imagine you guys were taking a lot longer than this. I'm now realizing that the 69 is a joke. I was talking to this with Team EQS, and I was like, "Oh yeah, they were there for an hour and 6 minutes," and I'm like, "Oh, 6.9, like duh."
Whoops.
Yeah,
We
but what's the
forgot the
range?
420.
Well,
Sorry.
I
Yeah,
talked to
thanks for
I talked to
420.
Jordan before filling this out, and he was like, "Oh yeah, put in whatever you want. It's fine as long as you put accurate mileage, how many gallons, and cost." So I was like, "All right, perfect." And now I'm starting to see that I probably should have been a little bit more accurate with the information.
Hilarious. Yeah, I think this is actually 500 here.
That's very possible.
Push
We
it.
I
grabbed
filled
different
out one of those,
trips.
and it was the car's actual mileage.
Oh, okay,
So I think that's what happened there.
interesting.
We drove in reverse and took the miles down.
That's right. Ferris Bueller's Day Off tip.
Yeah.
Dang, okay. Yeah, did you guys have any like points to share? I mean, what did you guys think of the race as a whole? Anything stand out?
I think it's a cool concept. It shows how far Taycan has come, really, which me, Kyle, and Drew had put to the test too the couple days after that, driving to California. But it's still gas car is obviously still the fastest, but it's also more relaxed. I think in an EV, you do have the chance of using, I'll tell you, like a level 2 charger and having a sit down meal, or being able to go to a hotel and not have to worry about anything.
Right.
But in a gas car, you truly don't have to worry about anything. It's like you stop when you want food, you stop when you have to use the bathroom, or you stop when you have to get gas or go to sleep. And you don't have to think about, is it a smart stop to stop here instead of going an extra 100 miles to reach the charger before stopping, which I think is overlooked in the EV world. Is just like everyone's like, oh, the EVs are the best thing to ever exist, when they are for 80-90% of driving. But when it comes to 3,000 miles nonstop, an EV kind of sucks.
For sure. Also, we could have taken it seriously, but like Ben was starting to say, if we would have like planned in shifts and made someone go to bed like the second the race started, but that's tough. It's like 3 new friends in a car. We're just hanging out, having fun, listening to music, and it's really tough to be the person that has to go to sleep like immediately if you're going to do it cannonball style and try
Right.
to like run optimally across the country. So
I mean,
we had
for
fun.
cannonballs, we never
Yeah.
really, the first person never really falls asleep until, well, we used to leave midnight, and that would be
Oh.
easy to fall asleep.
Yes.
Last time we didn't, and we just like stayed awake and only slept after dinner. But I would also say it'd be interesting to do this in the least efficient vehicle currently on sale to see where it falls against Taycan and the new Model 3, to see if there's really that big of a difference between a high performance car, which would probably be the least efficient, or a Jeep Wrangler, but no one really wants to be in one of those, compared to the Taycan or the Model 3, to see what the time difference really is. But we don't need to do that over 3,000 miles. We could just do that over a couple gas stops.
Yeah. Yeah. If it was us, we'd still win, but it would be really expensive.
Yeah.
What's the MPG?
25, 26.
Yeah, 25.6, 26. Yeah, it was right in that range the entire time.
So
And we weren't allowed to open it, so we couldn't get any worse gas mileage out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
awesome, man. Well, I think that's really it on par of the questions. I mean, right, with the EVs, everyone takes like about an hour, but you're in the gas car, so it just took you 19 minutes, which is kind of
That
proof of
checks
how
out.
long it took you guys. So
Yeah.
things go by quick. But yeah, thank you guys again for joining me, taking the time out of your day. I know coordinating this has been a bit of a trip, so I really appreciate you guys taking the time tonight to talk about this.
Of course.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for
Of
having
course,
us.
man. Yeah, we'll have to do this again. I was laughing with the other teams. We'll have to do like a Chinese race with all the fast
no,
charging
thanks.
Chinese EVs. You guys will have to pick
Put me
a.
in the BYD, so the brakes fail, I end up into a tree.
They came from China.
Well, perfect.
Yeah, I was thinking if we do.
BYD U9.
Yeah, I was thinking if we end up doing like the same thing across Canada, if we could get like an X3M with
X5M,
winter,
just something
like
huge.
with some winter tires on it. We can
Competition.
just get
And then we
Dolph
just
on.
drift around
Yeah.
the Chargers anytime we see someone
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we had to make an unnecessary 5-minute drive to pick up a hard drive from Jordan, so I could
Oh, we
coordinate
did.
with everybody.
That's true. That's true.
He just
So take that off our
sabotaging us.
time, honestly. We need to edit the results.
Yeah. I'll have them delete it, edit it back, and I'll have Jordan repost it.
Yeah, repost all of the videos.
Perfect.
Awesome. Damn straight. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, JR, Ben, Tijmen. You guys have any links, send me them, and I'll have everyone's links in the description. Check out all of their channels and social medias. But thank you guys so much for watching. This concludes all of the interviews from the I-90 Surge. Of course, there's merch, and you can watch the full thing. That will also be in the link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is the Out of Spec Podcast channel, and we hope to see you guys in the next one.